Those men were very close to you, Ainsley. Meanwhile, a bombshell new report accusing the Obama administration of undermining the DEA operations to take down Hezbollah's drug trafficking enterprise, letting the terror network off the hook completely to ultimately secure the infamous Iranian deal. And now, a Republican congressman, just the first in demanding the House look into this. That is Congressman Pittenger. Here to weigh in on our panel, Hudson Institute fellow and foreign policy expert Rebecca Heinrichs, along with former Obama State Department spokesperson, Fox News contributor Marie Harf. Marie, first off to you. Have you heard of this? What did you know at your level in the State Department?
Well, Brian, I was part of the negotiating team that got the Iran nuclear deal done. And until Politico wrote this piece, I had never even heard of this program. You know, the Politico story, this narrative in it, is just false. And there's no evidence in this story to back up their allegations. They quote a couple of low-level ideological sources who clearly don't like the Iran deal, but everything I know just doesn't back up this narrative. In 2016, for example, the Obama administration's DEA did take action against Hezbollah's drug and laundering operations. So this story is a hit job, honestly, with no truth behind it.
It would
Brian.
be one of the first hit jobs ever that Politico put out on the Obama administration. It would make history. Here's an excerpt.
We're making history this morning.
It would make history here. In its determination to secure an Iranian deal with Iran, the Obama administration derailed an ambitious law enforcement campaign targeting drug enforcement of the Iranian-backed Hezbollah group, even as it funneled cocaine into the United States. This is a very sophisticated, detailed story. Rebecca, your reaction, if this is to be believed, and it's so complicated in which they do it, and the DEA is so deep into it, it's hard to imagine, unless you're a fiction writer coming up with this, unless it's based on fact. What's your reaction?
No, this is a well-sourced bombshell report from Politico. These are not anonymous sources that they base it on. One of the individuals, his name is David Asher. He was a DOD, Department of Defense analyst that headed this program. So these are not anonymous sources like a lot of these hit pieces against the Trump administration are. It's well-sourced, it's well-documented, and by the way, it fits in with the overall pattern for how the Obama administration behaved leading up to the Iran deal. The president wanted the Iran deal, any deal, at all costs. He wanted not only just to delay the program, and by the way, even according to Barack Obama, the Iran deal only delayed the nuclear weapons program. It didn't end it. So we have a latent program in place, but he made all of these concessions leading up to it. We're only beginning to understand everything. But this was a bombshell, well-sourced, well-documented report.
And some of that money, which was documented in this story in Project Cassandra, went back to the Iranians. After all, they would finance Hezbollah, which tangentially killed our people with their IEDs. Marie, on top of that, John Brennan's also caught up in this because he knew all about this. He should be asked to come forward and answer this once and for all, don't you think?
But, Brian, this is all pure speculation from people who were not involved in the Iran nuclear deal. They were not in a position to know why certain policies were being pursued and why they weren't. I know there are people who don't like the nuclear deal. That is not breaking news. The two sources that are quoted in this story clearly are ideological, but there is no evidence presented in this story that the DEA did not go after Hezbollah's drug smuggling. In fact, they did in the Obama administration as late as 2016 when we were negotiating. So I know it's an interesting story, but honestly, it is just not accurate.
Rebecca, they also go out of the way to bring up and raise the profile of Hezbollah. Those old Hezbollah people, the founders, they were terrorists. These people seem to be nicer.
No, these were terrorists. And not only, you mentioned John Brennan, this was a man who even talked about bringing Hezbollah into the fold and trying to, legitimize Hezbollah. So it makes perfect sense with what the administration was trying to do. And oh, by the way, one of these, according to the report, one of these senior Hezbollah leaders reported directly to Vladimir Putin. This was a drug dealer. This was a weapons dealer that brought drugs into Syria. And so when you talk about, the media is right now in a frenzy trying to find collusion between the Trump administration and the Russians, when here you have as a matter of policy the Obama administration doing just that very thing.
And Maria and Rebecca, I think we agree on one thing. It's time to bring everybody front and center. Either defend yourself or find yourself accused, because this is a detailed article from a source that doesn't usually go after anything President Obama related.
Absolutely.
Maria, so great to have you because you were there at the State Department. Rebecca, thanks so much for your expertise.